I'm Cailin Jewell.
Okay, cool. My name's Oli Moseley.
Hi, my name is Karey.
Hi, I'm Ruby. McDonald.
My favorite sports are currently skiing, climbing, and I like trail running too. So the three that come to the top.
My favorite outdoor sports are probably skiing and freediving.
I love to rock climb. I think my favorite all around is skiing or mountaineering. I've been getting into the last few years. Oh, and mountain biking. I love to mountain bike. That's kind of a new one for me, but getting into it, and running. I like to run.
My favorite sports are skiing and biking and running.
I really like to run, and I really like skiing and mountain biking and hiking and climbing and mountain biking and running and skiing and running.
I got into skiing, which is my favorite sport, because my dad really likes to ski, and he really supported me in being a ski racer because he always wanted to do that growing up, but never got the chance, so he really wanted me to do that and supported me through that, which was really cool.
I was really lucky. I had two teacher parents, and they fell in love with the outdoors. They were windsurfing and ski bums, so they got me into the skiing, into the snow sports, a little bit of mountaineering. We've always, because they had the same breaks as my sister and I, we were always able to go backpacking or hiking with them.
With skiing, I've always been a skier just as long as I can remember. My dad was super passionate about bringing my older brother and I to the hill every weekend.
I've been skiing since I was a kid. My parents are both big skiers, and they introduced me to the sport. And for a while, I switched to snowboarding, but now back to skiing, realized my errors, and I think, just stuck with it.
I've always been like kind of a fish kid. I've always been in the water, and I used to go to school in Santa Barbara, and every morning before I went to class, I would go freedive and snorkel on the rocks, and ever since then I've just been really into it.
I love how the outdoors gets people to love nature of like all sorts of walks of life, and that no matter like what your upbringing is or where you are in the world, if you like meet somebody on a trail in Italy or in the United States or wherever, like you guys are kind of all there for very similar reasons that kind of parallel to the like love of the outdoors, which is universal. It goes beyond whatever language you speak and where you come from with privilege or socioeconomic status or race, which is sort of a catch-22. But
I think my favorite thing about the outdoors is how it brings people together. Spending time with people in the outdoors really allows you to get to know each other in a different way than maybe you would just like around town, at school, at work.
I love being outside, like the kind of therapeutic, calm, outdoor solo time is really good for me. And I love also, on the other side, the people that go with the outdoors and kind of the communities, especially like the communities of women that have been there to like support and inspire. And yeah, just like meeting people on the trails is always fun. Oh, I like to hike. I didn't say that with the first one.
My favorite thing about the outdoor industry is probably the fact that it just feels so freeing to be able to like participate in these crazy sports and adventures, and it's just like a really good way to connect to the natural world and everything around me, and I just feel so whole and like one with the planet whenever I'm outside.
I really enjoy the aspect of the outdoor industry that encourages people to push themselves out of their comfort zone. I think that is something that a lot of other hobbies sometimes lack, is especially challenging the idea of fear and fear of getting injured, fear of dying. Sort of like coming face to face with those things is really is one of the hardest things about the outdoor industry, but also one of my favorite things.
I think definitely getting more women out there, specifically with like my mountaineering. I've never been in a group where I wasn't the only girl on the mountain and my group on the mountain, and it's always really inspiring to see all women groups going up, and I would love to like see more of that and be part of that.
Well, I would really like to see a lot more social inclusion. Of course, I think that's being like made very apparent right now, how like it's always been a very exclusive industry, but just now, like with a lot of social movements gaining traction, it's becoming more obvious how people of color, like queer folks, and obviously like women have been excluded from the outdoor industry or have been discouraged from learning specific sports, but just would like to see a lot more compassion and a lot more willingness to teach people the ways of the sports and the cultures. Just want to pass that on to other people rather than having to sort of initiate someone into the sport through doing something that maybe they don't want to do.
I think I would change maybe the mindset of the outdoor industry from being like sendy based to being more experiential based, and like highlighting how people can be goofy in the outdoors and that's okay, and like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to do it a certain way in order to have fun. You can do it however you want for whatever sport that you're doing.
The outdoor industry is very like elitist and based on like, I don't know, like if you want to love lots of different sports, you either need to have somebody, you have to have access to those sports, and a lot of people don't. And like you might fall in love with mountain biking, but it's so expensive to buy a mountain bike, it's so expensive to buy climbing gear, to buy skis, to buy all of the gear for all of the different sports. So it's very elitist, it's very privileged, and then there's a bro culture that is around it, and it just makes it very inaccessible to people from many different walks of life, particularly like anybody who's not a white cisgendered male, which is something that lots of outdoor industries are trying to get rid of, but it's so ingrained.
Least favorite thing is probably like starting at the foundation of the outdoor industry. Like it's super exclusionatory. I don't know how to pronounce that. Exclusive, yeah. There is not a lot of diversity when you look in the outdoor industry because it's really inaccessible. Like people can't get out there because of how expensive it is, and like the stigma that a lot of sports hold. Like a lot of people in sports, you'll hear this in skiing a lot. They're like, oh look, it's a gaper on the mountain, like ha, but in reality it's just somebody who's trying to get out to skiing. They don't have like the nicest gear, but they're being outside, and that's awesome, and I think we should celebrate that.
I think my favorite adventure was to go to do like trip leader training for the outdoor center. We went on a kayaking trip in the San Juans, and it was really fun to see how like this group of students from Western who didn't really know each other could like learn and be goofy and like have a good time while getting to know each other and making meaningful relationships.
Okay, so I went to Greece this past summer, and my partner and I went freediving, and we spent 2 hours in the reefs of an island in Greece called Spetses, and we swam down. The rocks were like gigantic, and they formed really deep canyons, and so we would just go up and down, and it felt like I was a dolphin. And then there was this cave that we got to dive into and surface, and we swam through a school of fish, and I have one tattooed. Ta-da! It's an ornate wrasse.
My attempt on Mount Rainier to summit Mount Rainier was my coolest adventure. I didn't summit this time, but it was super cool. I reached my personal record for like highest altitude I climbed, and it was like super intense but super fun to be able to experience all the like technical climbing, mountaineering climbing skills that I hadn't seen or hadn't tried on other mountains. And just to be on like the highest peak in Washington and to be able to say that I like conquered a lot of it is really cool. I think that was probably one of them. Yeah.
I went on a road trip to Hood River over the summer with my partner, and I went mountain biking for the first time, and then we also got in some hikes and skated at their skate park a bit, which is fun because I'm learning how to skate. So yeah.
Over the summer, I got to go backpacking with my parents, who are badass hippie, old hippies, you know, super cool. And we went backpacking around. We did the Tour du Mont Blanc, so we started at Chamonix and like ended at Val d'Aosta, which is in Val d'Aosta in Italy. And we went through Switzerland, France, and Italy, and it was really cool to like see the different languages and also just the different kinds of mountains, and to be the translator for the Italian side with my parents. And it was just really awesome to be on a trail every single day.
Stay safe out there.